DDO Players News is brought to you by the Easy Roller Dice Company. Check out EasyRollerDice.com for all of your dice needs. They have the metal dice, they have regular dice, they have dice trays, dice bags, dice cups. If it's related to dice, you can find it over at EasyRollerDice.com. And make sure you use that coupon code DDO Players, all uppercase and all one word, at your checkout, and you can save 15%.
Good day, everyone, and welcome back. This is Spiny Needles, and welcome to DDO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in DDO and on the tabletop. And please welcome back my co-host from Ravenloft, Dracula.
I'm channeling my inner Gandalf. I have no memory of this place. Things are confusing. I'm hoping everything is working. I guess we'll see. Crossing fingers.
I thought you fell into darkness.
Tick, 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 tick.
You're tempting fate, guest, that we haven't announced yet.
Yes, all right. And also, please welcome Miss Chica herself, Bonnie View.
View, view. Hi, welcome.
That's right. What could go wrong? First show back, so what do? I invite Bonnie on.
Yep. Just, yeah, your memory, it took time for your memory to fade. Because it's been a while.
It has. Yeah, I was trying to think the last time you were on. It's been a long time.
Yeah, that body person, she's okay. Sure, we can have her on this show. I don't really remember what she's like.
Well, see, at least I didn't go totally crazy and I didn't have you and Lessa both on.
Aha!
That's when things go horribly, horribly wrong.
You say horribly wrong. I say interesting.
Let us begin with the game news. And Cordovan has made a post to the people who may be attending Gen Con or otherwise in the Indianapolis area on August 3rd, because there is going to be a meetup there.
There is, and it's an official meetup, actually. Usually there is an unofficial for DDO meetup at Gen Con that is called the Gathering for Buffs. This time, it is actually going to be an official Standing Stone game event with DDO players and Lotro players both invited. And he says along with those players, there are going to be some SSG employees and perhaps a special few guests.
Ooh, I wonder if there will be swag.
There will be swag, fun, and giveaways and more. And he says they might even have a few secrets to spill.
Oh, take copious notes.
Yeah, sounds like a trip to the Grave Mountains is going to be discussed.
Well, you know, I would take notes and such, but there's a cash bar, so...
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I will suggest then that you bring one of your recording devices then.
I could do that. Then I could actually remember what went on.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is going to be taking place at the Social on McCurry, which, if you're not familiar with Indianapolis, that is about 2 blocks, maybe 3 blocks from the convention center. It's a nice little bar, and it sounds like Standing Stone Games has rented the whole bar out. So that whole evening from 7 to 10, it's just going to be for the meetup, so it's going to be a fun time. But as I said, some secrets, special guests, SSG employees, an open cash bar. God, I wish it was an open bar.
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
Dirty kobolds for everyone.
Indeed. I'm sure there will be many a dirty kobold. So like I said, starts at 7, ends at 10. He did say they will probably stick around after 10, so if you don't have anything scheduled or anything going on, you could probably just stay, but it's going to be informal after that. But officially, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. at the Social on McCurry in Indy, the Friday, August 3rd of Gen Con, and you do not need a Gen Con badge to attend this. So if you're close to the Indianapolis area and you just feel like driving to Indy for the evening and you want to hang out with some DDO players and Lotro players, come check out the official Standing Stone Games meetup at Gen Con. And I know I am going to be there, Rentapone's going to be there, and Lessa's going to be there. So I know those 3 people. So if you want to meet any of us 3, that's your chance. We'll be there from 7 to 10.
be there from 7 to 10. That sounds like going to be quite a bit. I will not be there.
Too far of a little commute for you?
A little bit too far, yes.
One of these years, we have to get Bonnie to Gen Con.
One of these years.
That would be fun and dangerous all at the same time.
Fun and dangerous. You mean like nitroglycerin?
You say fun and dangerous. I like to call it interesting.
Then let's have a look at the DDO Chronicle issue 291, where somebody seems to be ready and waiting.
Yeah, that is from one of the new quests, but I can't think of which quest it is.
It's been so long since we've been here, we can't even remember.
It is, yeah. I think it's the one where you have to get the tavern keeper to open up the back door to the bar or whatever. It's that one, I think.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, I can't think of the name of it.
I can't remember it either.
It's been too long, folks. It's been too long.
Something by night, maybe? I don't know.
Possibly. Anyway, in the news, in the Chronicle, we had DDO bonus days this last weekend. So if you're into getting XP, I hope you did that, especially Reaper XP. I know a lot of people were running Reaper because that was the weekend bonus. But alas, that is over now. The Traveler's Trunk is available in the DDO store through July 19th. So if you want the Traveler's Trunk, there you go. Check that out. In our community spotlight, you can check out the Amaglam Fighter by DDO Buildmasters. And I have not looked at this build, but it is an interesting name for a fighter build, nonetheless.
The Amalgam Fighter?
I have no idea. I will admit I didn't look at it beforehand, so I can't talk too much about it.
It sounds like something that has a little bit of everything based on the name. If it means what I think it means.
I could make a Princess Bride joke here, but I'll just move on. Fan site news section. Thank you for getting it, Bonnie. Thank you. In the fan site news section, DDO Cast gets a shout out for their episode 525. That is their second part of their Slayer area discussion. That is a new series Patrick started, and I must say I enjoyed part 1. I haven't listened to part 2 yet, but
And I think
very
last
good
weekend
show.
they just did a part 3 that hasn't. I don't know if it's been published on YouTube yet.
Awesome. See, I am 2 behind then. But yeah, it's a really good episode. It lays out all of the Slayer areas, what you can expect to find there, what levels you should go there. So it's great if you want a primer on the Slayer areas. There you go. Check out DDO Cast episode 525. The Damsels of DDO had their episode 92. And don't forget, Baklagor is always having Fridays on Ice every Friday over on the official stream channel. Bard's Life with Den Glendower is also over on the official stream channel. And DDOPL, they are continuing their heroic lives with their guildies. So if you want to watch people play DDO in Polish, there you go. And finally, in our fansite news section, Tone Station also has his show on the stream channel as well with the Inside the Magic Circle. So check out all of those great streamers. There are so many awesome people streaming DDO. It is just awesome. And there was no screenshot this week, so we can't talk about that because I guess they decided to take a week off.
Yes, and what's the comment for the week?
The comment for the week, let me scroll back up. What is your most favorite companion? Bonnie doesn't even need to answer this because we all know the answer.
What? Is it that obvious? It probably is really obvious.
I'm going to be very disappointed if that is not your answer.
My answer, of course, is going to be the owlbear. Is that what you thought it was going to be?
No. I'm disappointed now. See? All right, show's over. That's it.
Owlbears are my jam. What? Maybe I've overlooked some companion animal. I don't know, but yeah, owlbears are kind of my thing.
Maybe it's a mini, and it's maybe a certain individual mini. I don't know.
Oh, that.
Oh, I
Okay,
forgot about
that's a
Little
fair
Harry.
guess. Little Harry is
see?
a very likely guess. Yeah, I kind of wasn't thinking about him. Well, you know, the whole militia thing.
See, and that brings up a good point. That would be my favorite companion if we had one.
There's a little.
Make it happen. I want a little militia following me around. Make it happen, SSG. Make it happen.
All right, I guess I'll just stick with something boring like a raven.
The raven is cool.
Raven's cool.
That's- The raven is actually what I'm walking around DDO with right now. I haven't stopped liking it since Ravenloft came out, so
I like my
props
bat.
to the ravens.
Raven's cool. I like my bat, but you know.
You like your bat.
Yeah, I probably should have said Harry. But I do love owlbears.
Well, yes, you
Owlbear
do.
rugs are murder.
Every time I see that rug, Bonnie can even back me up. I always say, Bonnie would be so disappointed right now.
I would. I'm disappointed right now because I know somewhere out there people are walking on owlbear rugs.
Right.
It's so disappointing.
Yes, especially a lot of people down in the Temple of Elemental Evil. I think that's the reason why you like to punch Zugatmoy in the teeth, because people in that dungeon abuse owlbears.
Yeah. Terrible decorators. No, the design aesthetic is just not my street.
It's not very feng shui, as it were.
It's not feng shui. Not if you're an owlbear.
Well, yeah.
Or you like owlbears. Rooting for the owlbears.
That concludes our chronicle, and it looks like Drac is pondering on when is update 39 coming. You're still wondering that?
Yes, I am. It's got to be soon. It has to be, right? Soon, trademark. Because as Bonnie pointed out in the pre-show, which I didn't realize since I've been kind of offline and moving and all that fun stuff I've been going through the last couple of weeks, there have been 2 Lamania builds now.
2. 1, 2.
Thank you.
So normally when there's 2 previews of something, we're like, bam, getting it the next week.
Exactly. So what gives? When is update 39 coming? I haven't seen any announcements.
Maybe this Wednesday during the Wednesday DDO stream, there's going to be, I don't know, hints or secrets or something revealed. I don't know. Or maybe they're...
Before Gen Con, you hope?
Maybe not till after Gen Con. Well, as we were saying, maybe this is some serious QA stuff happening. Maybe they're perfecting update 39. Maybe it's going to be the most awesomest update ever.
They're having trouble building the mountain.
Yeah.
Getting the white plume.
That's the White Plume Mountain. You know, there's always supposed to be that plume of white smoke coming up out of this mountain. Are they sure it's like a dungeon? Because it could just be like a bakery, you know? They got, like, maybe Willy Wonka's there with the Oompa Loompas, and you go inside and there's just a whole bunch of, like, swords made out of chocolate.
Okay, I think you just blew my mind right now.
I mean, I'm just saying we're assuming that there's something nefarious and you know, gear and treasures to get in White Plume Mountain, but maybe it's just going to be snacks.
Okay. Charlie and White Plume Mountain. Good.
Mm-hmm.
Let's head into the store sales. Drac, what's on sale this week?
As I said, the Traveler's Trunk is available through July 19th. So hurry and get that. Also through July 19th, the summer sales event continues. 35% off Supreme Plus 7 tomes. 50% off the Dragonborn race and the Big B's Guiding Hands. 75% off the Hall of Heroes.
The Hall of Heroes? What is that?
I think it's the teleporting. Like when you log in, you can teleport directly to Eberron or...
Yeah, if
the
you're
Forgotten
not
Realms.
VIP, you have to buy that.
Oh, okay, that's the thing. Okay.
Yeah, and then this week is the Hacken Stash sale, so 25% off. Also, conveniently, through July 19th, Slayer Boost, Loot Boost, and Treasure Hunter Elixirs, and Select Shared Storage, all at 25% off. Our weekly coupon code this week will get you a free Lasting Aid Potion. Yay, I guess. You'll get 5 of those with the coupon code AIDME, AIDME, and that conveniently as well through July 19th.
Then let's head to our site news, and we of course will have some Gen Con coverage. So it looks like before then we'll be catching up on our Origins coverage.
Yeah, maybe I'm a little behind in releasing those videos, just a tad.
Yes. But we will have Gen Con coverage as soon as that all finishes up. And I hear that there will be some easy rolling with our sponsor.
Very subtle, Pinely. Very, very subtle. And if you haven't guessed already, because if you listen to the beginning of the show, you might know who our sponsor is. Yeah, Easy Roller Dice Company is an amazing, awesome group of people, and they have decided to sponsor our podcast and our Gen Con coverage. So thank you so much to the guys over at Easy Roller Dice. As I said at the beginning of the show, they have a full range of dice and metal dice bags, dice mats, dice cups. If it's dice related, easyrollerdice.com is where you need to go. And they even gave us a 15% off coupon code as well. DDO players, once again, is that code. All one word and all uppercase. So if you're thinking about buying some new dice or dice accessories, check them out. Use our code so they can know that we sent you, and you get 15% off in the process. But no, seriously, a big thanks to the guys over at Easy Roller Dice for sponsoring the podcast and our Gen Con and our Origins coverage as well. And I said those Origins videos are slowly starting to come out. I had one coming out today, and I got 3 more coming out within the next week or so. I was going to try to space them out a little bit. Didn't want to put too many out at once. But
Then let's head into our special feature where I believe Drek and Bonnie have something about another D&D on DDO stream.
that's
Yes.
right. Yeah, this is going to be exciting. Bonnie is going to join us. I didn't partake in the last one because it happened to be the same day that I was at Origins. So I guess from what I've been told, if you watch the first D&D on DDO stream, at the end of that, I suddenly found myself with wings.
Yes.
And
You flew into a tree.
apparently I flew into a tree and I was in a coma. So I don't know what happened last time, but apparently you guys went down into a well and we found Annabelle, and Annabelle is now cursed, and now we're going to remove the curse off of Annabelle. And apparently we need Bonnie Bue's help to do so.
Apparently. Well, because in the I guess this started around April, and it's like a tabletop campaign that has people play DDO playing D&D tabletop, and Evil Beaker is the DM. You're playing a
Wizard.
a tiefling
Wizard. Wizard, yes.
tail,
And horns and wings, apparently.
all the good stuff.
I may be a warlock, maybe.
Maybe.
Possibly.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. I guess I had gotten the impression that series had finished up. I didn't realize that it was still going on.
Yeah, no,
The next
it's- yeah.
chapter.
The
There's been,
next
there's been like 2 different kind of stories, I guess, within the campaign.
Mm-hmm.
And Jerry Cordovan has been playing Jerry the Cleric in the first 2 installments, but he's not going to be able to be there for the 3rd installment. So I'm coming in as the replacement cleric, I guess.
But wait for it. Tell us about your character, Bonnie.
Well, we've been calling my character Goth Hobbit.
Yeah.
Goth Hobbit.
Yes, Goth Hobbit.
Hobbit.
Yeah, he, the world is gray and he can't be bothered to second breakfast. He's a cleric of Saluna. So he's all about the moon and standing on the moors and writing poems and, following up on this curse. This curse is very intriguing. Whatever's happened to our little Annabelle, who keeps getting into messes.
Yeah, I'm telling you, somebody really needs to watch Annabelle more carefully because she tends to get herself into some sticky situations.
She needs a leash. Yeah.
She does. So yeah, this is all happening over on the official DDO stream channel. And our first episode, we think this is going to be 2 episodes probably for this section.
Yeah, 2, 3 if we don't get things done.
I.e. we screw around too much.
We screw up. If we choose poorly, you have to endure more of it.
Exactly. This is going to be Sunday night over on the official DDO stream channel. So if you
But
want
this is
to
going to
watch,
be the first time that I've ever done
Yeah.
tabletop for reals, and with like, I mean, I've always read the books and stuff, and
Which you-
checked out the lore.
you told me that today, and I was shocked because I had just assumed you played all the time. And then when you said this was like the first time, I was like, what?
First time. So I'm wondering, because I'm kind of like trying to not overdo it, because I'm like, how much should I prepare versus just kind of reading over my character and what it can do and looking at Fantasy Grounds because we're playing it on Fantasy Grounds. Or should I write all this backstory and read all the gothic novels that I can?
And Nightfawn in the chat is saying, great, Bywater is now going to become a hot topic. And see, what's funny is Pineleaf doesn't get that joke. That's what's funny about it.
Well, concerning Bywater, I mean, other than
Well, come on.
it's discussed in Bywater at the Green Dragon Inn, so.
We know you would get the Bywater part, but do you even know what a hot topic is?
A hot topic? Yeah,
It's
hot
not
topic.
what you think it is, Pineleaf. That's what's funny.
Oh, so a hot topic is not the usual thing that people mean by hot topic, then.
Poor Pineleaf.
Okay, fine.
Next time you find yourself in a mall, walk into a hot topic, Pineleaf. But if you do, videotape yourself doing so because I want to see your reaction.
Does a pine leaf even go to a mall?
Probably not.
That doesn't seem to be like a normal environment for a pine leaf.
Well, there aren't exactly too many malls around anymore.
True.
Oh, yeah.
And I guess the last time I was in a mall, I don't think there was such thing as a hot topic, whatever you're saying.
Oh, Pineleaf.
So both of you have, of course, played Dungeons and Dragons tabletop for ages. You have a lot of experience doing that. So for a first-time player, what's your number one piece of advice for me, since this is the first time that I'm going to be doing it?
Just have fun with it. Don't try to take it too seriously. And if you mess up and you do something that you probably shouldn't do, that's all part of the fun. Just have fun with it. That's what I would say.
And what about you, Pineleaf?
Yeah, I would say that just try to have fun with it, and just remember that no matter what plans you make, they're not going to happen, so don't worry too much about it.
That kind of fatality, Goth Hobbit loves.
It doesn't necessarily have to be fatal. In fact, usually things go silly instead, at least in my experience for it. I remember one time someone decided to go scouting and disguised as a raven, and it started out by saying, "Someone's here." I mean, go. So yes, all sorts of weird stuff. And you are right, Drac. Based on the description at Wikipedia, that is probably the least likely store that I'm going to enter if I go to it.
Oh my
I
God.
just think it's hilarious that Pineleaf has now Googled Hot Topic.
Yeah, that's great.
Achievement unlocked.
And I also heard that besides Bonnie breaking news going to be playing D&D for the first time, she's also going to break some other news for us tonight. Something is coming back, I hear.
Shroud Palooza is coming back.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we haven't. I've been talking to Even Note about it, and we're going to be doing it together. Mainly, I think she's going to be probably doing a lot of the playing and actually streaming on her screen, and I'm just going to be tagging along and doing some playing with it. And I think it's probably going to be maybe towards the end of August or September when we start kicking off doing the shrouds. But we will visit every single server. There'll probably be DDO point giveaways as before. And there may be some epic shroud doing too. For the most part, we're going to be doing heroic shrouds because that's going to be the most inclusive and allow the most people to participate. But I wouldn't put it past us running some epic shrouds.
Now, does this require you to have it unlocked before starting, or is there going to be some unlocking quests done beforehand?
You need to be flagged on the day because we're not going to be flagging as part of the whole Shroud Palooza stream. We're going to be running the raid. But in the past, usually the week beforehand, running Shroudpalooza on a particular server, I would tend to run the flagging quest a lot more and put up LFMs for them in case people needed help in flagging or wanted to like kind of qualify if they'd never done Shroud before, kind of that kind of thing. Because the idea of Shroud Palooza isn't to be all like elite and get like the sweet loot. It's more like to come together and have everybody enjoy this really great raid and be, have fun with the DDO community and get to go to different servers and play with people that I don't normally get to play with because I'm usually on Caneth, and usually on Thelanis. So it's more like a community kind of thing to participate with.
All right. So if I remember properly, that's the raid where Harry is the
Yes.
boss? Okay.
It's the Harry raid.
The Harry raid.
Yes, I think we did that with Bonnie. I think the one and
Yes,
only
you did.
time
Yes,
you
we
ran
did.
that. We ran that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If I remember correctly, though, we had something like about 3 or 4 people in that raid. Because
Yes.
I don't remember. I think so. Yeah.
But we were way over level.
you were, at least.
Yeah. I was on a character where I knew I could do it solo if needed. So it was pretty cool.
So it might.
We walked through it gingerly, like leisurely, stroll
Yeah.
through. This is how the raid is.
It'd be nice to actually do it somewhere near on level, so I could actually see how it goes when you're actually running it, as opposed to getting a tour.
There's a lot of screaming and crying.
Pretty much.
Imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. Sometimes I do it at level. I mean, back in the day, of course, you tended to do it at level a lot more often, before the level cap was beyond 20. But sometimes when I'm doing a TR, I have coupled up with a few of my guild mates and done a short man version of it at level, and it's fun.
And what level is the Shroud?
I think it is. Gosh, the raid is level 16. I think we usually do the raid on elite for the shenanigans. So I think it's going to be a CR 18 raid. But because it's open, the levels aren't restricted. We'll let anybody in. Usually from like level 14, I think, which might be the lowest you can fly for it. I have to double check. Up to people who are at level 30, and you have a couple level 30 people in the party, and you can just breeze through a heroic shroud. It almost becomes a problem in certain areas that they do too much damage, and that can screw you up, like in part 2 of the raid. So there's like a sweet spot of being able to, like, sometimes it's easier to do it on heroic and coordinate, actually, when nobody's epic, because we're too powerful. People are so powerful now.
Too epic.
Mm-hmm.
So when is all the Shroud shenanigans going to start?
I think it's going to be at least another month. I think we're waiting for like the hottest part of the summer to kind of pass before we kick off. And we're probably going to start off on a server, maybe a server that we're familiar with, and then we'll like do servers that we don't play on as much, and then end up on one of our home servers and kind of sandwich it. But keep an eye out if you're interested in playing Shroud, if you like Shroud, or if you just want to play with other people on your server, or play with Even and me. And it will be streamed on DDO Stream when we do it. Keep an eye out for the forums or on the DDO Discord, and we'll be putting out announcements for when we're doing the different servers and try to get the word out so as many people can participate that want to.
Is each of these going to be about the same time and night, or are they going to be varied?
Yeah. It'll be about the same time. It'll be on the weekend. Probably Sunday afternoons is the time we're talking about doing them. And we try to kind of put them at mid-afternoon so that people on the West Coast, East Coast, and Europe all have a potential chance of participating. And what else? I feel like I'm forgetting something. And there probably will be about 2 weeks between, like, we won't do it every single weekend, but every other, just to give more time for prepping and allowing people to have time to get ready for the next server in between visits, in between tour dates. So Shroudpalooza, if you like Shroud, this is the tour for you.
This is the tour for you. The tour to Shroud.
Yippee!
Then, with that done, let's see what's coming in from the dungeon, other than Harry, perhaps. And we have a Humble Comics Bundle, Dungeons & Dragons 2018 by IDW.
That's easy for you to say. Yeah, this is pretty cool. If you're into Dungeons and Dragons comics and you want them digitally, that's easy for me to say apparently, you can go over to the Humble Bundle right now and get a great, wonderful bundle. This includes a ton of Dungeons and Dragons comics. For $1, just one measly dollar, you can get 4 Dungeons and Dragons comics.
$1? That's 4 quarters.
That is what, 2 cups of coffee, unless you go to that Buck Star place, and then it's more than that.
That's less than any cup of coffee I've ever bought.
If you get your coffee out of a machine, you could probably get about 4 cups of coffee for that.
See, I drink water instead of coffee out of a machine.
Yeah, don't buy coffee out of the machines, people. Just don't.
That's just nasty.
It's not good. But I digress. So yeah, for $1 or more, you can get 4 comics. If you want to go up to the next level, for $8, you will get 4 more comics. And then if you're crazy and you want to pay $15 or more, you will get the 8 previous comics plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It looks like 13 more comics. So that is a ton of D&D comics. For $15, and that is over at the Humble Bundle. And as of this recording on Monday evening, you have 8 days to jump in on this. So it is great. But yeah, there are some good titles in here too. There's a couple really good. If you like Drizzt and you want to see some of the origins of Drizzt and some of Drizzt Adventures, the Drizzt comic, I highly, highly recommend. Very, very good comic. And there's a couple Baldur's Gate comics that are really good too. But yeah, this whole set of comics is awesome. And they are DMR free. So you can buy them, and then you can put them on any of the devices that you have. You can share them between your devices. So there's no limit to how many times you can load them up on your devices. So it's just great. It's nice to see that Humble Bundle. Most people, I guess, don't realize that Humble Bundle does more than just games, because usually we only ever talk about the Humble Bundle game bundles that they have. But they do a lot of books and a lot of comic books, and this is just one awesome example. So yeah, anywhere between $1 to $15 can get you a ton of D&D comics goodness.
Then let's have a look at what's on the tabletop. Where no game up, Cthulhu. CMON may kickstart.
Yeah, CMON and their Kickstarters that is basically just printing money. This thing went crazy. It funded in like 14 minutes, and they're already up to like $1 billion or something like that. I don't know. It's crazy. It's CMON puts a Kickstarter up, and they instantly make at least $1 million. So yeah, they're actually at $1,894 right now. So yeah.
Good.
What? That is sick.
Yeah, it is sick. But the thing about the new Cthulhu game, Death May Die, is for $250, you can get yourself a Cthulhu Mini. They call it a Cthulhu Mini, but mini is not the correct term.
Well, considering that baby girl that's sitting next to it.
Yeah, this mini is taller than a baby.
That's just crazy.
If you go over to DDO Players, the link, you can see this picture, and if you're watching the YouTube version right now, the picture will be on the screen. This mini is seriously, this baby is sitting down, staring at this thing, and this Cthulhu towers over this baby. It's insane at how big this is. That's at the $250 pledge level. It's the giant Cthulhu.
That's Cthulhu.
That is, yes, that's not a miniature, that's a statue.
That's something, all right. And there was a big kerfluffle going on about this whole thing too, because so many people ordered this Cthulhu in the beginning of the Kickstarter. You're now going to have to wait at least 2 years before you can get this Cthulhu now. That's how long it's going to take them to make them. So they're warning people, if you back at this level, don't expect your game for at least 2 years. And people are like just raising all kinds of cane about that.
They can't separate the shipments? Oh, this is CMON. Forget it.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I was going to be nice and not say that, but yeah, let's just say CMON's not known for their Kickstarter let's say, ideas they have and how they process their Kickstarters. So yeah,
I should remember the one time I backed one of their Kickstarters. Yeah, some of the joyous. I believe there was a thread on Board Game Geek called "Are you one of the 70?" which were the last 70 backers to get their rewards because of some kerfuffle with one of the. This was for Xenoshift and Redmire, and apparently they had ran out of copies of the original Xenoshift. So for those who ordered both of them, 70 of them got delayed. I was one of those 70. So,
Oh, man.
yeah, that they just took forever before it arrived.
But like, I'm with Kickstarter, I'm almost like if it actually gets done and you actually get something, then that's kind of a win.
true. Yes, it is.
I have a Kickstarter for a comic that I sponsored like maybe 2 years ago. They're just now shipping it because there were delays and stuff with the binder and stuff in China. So I feel like, 2 years, if you actually get the game, you've won.
True, yeah. So this is Cthulhu Death May Die. And in the game, players, of course, must work together to stop the efforts of a cult that do seek to summon one of the Elder Ones into our world, because we all know what could happen if that would partake. The game is fully cooperative, with the villains and monsters controlled through a card-driven AI instead of using an overlord player. So I'm guessing an app maybe soon, possibly.
I'm wondering if this game getting more than $1 million in terms of backing, is that a sign in itself for the rise of Cthulhu?
Might be. But that's actually kind of low for CMON. They usually get more than that. But so if you want a giant ass Cthulhu, here you go. And look at that. Just as we were talking about this, they are almost at 180 or 100 or 1,895,000. That many people have pledged just since we were talking about this. That's crazy.
Whee!
Wow. So if you don't pledge in this, I mean, what are the odds you're ever going to get this game?
Yeah, because this is, they haven't said if this was a Kickstarter exclusive or not. Usually with CMON, it comes out, but some of the
bells and whistles.
The bells and whistles, yeah, you won't be able to get. But
if you just want the game, you might want to wait till it hits stores.
Exactly. For, at least on Kickstarter, the base level is $100 just for the base game.
You cut off just as you gave the price.
Oh, sorry. It's $100 for the base game.
Whoa.
But that does include 45 unpainted plastic miniatures, 17 board tiles, 30 plastic tentacle tokens, because we all need those.
More tentacles.
8 custom dice, and 5 counter bases, and 10 investigator boards, 186 cards, and 120 other tokens. Game is intended for 1 to 5 players. You can jump in on all the Cthulhu madness over at Kickstarter now with 8 days to go. And get yourself a giant Cthulhu. I'm telling you, it's just insane how big this... I want to know how much that thing weighs. I guess it depends what they're actually making it out of.
Yeah, what is it made out of?
It's insane. Yeah, I'm seeing if it
says... Could hold a door open if it's made out of...
Hopefully it's not made of lead.
Yeah, God, we hope not. Yeah, I'm just looking. It doesn't say what they're making out of.
Is shipping free?
Oh, God, no. You have to pay for shipping. CMON's not crazy.
Let's then head on and see what our week in gaming is. And Drac, did you do anything?
No, I did not. I just now actually got the computers and everything set back up. Yeah, I moved. If you are kind of out of the loop and wondered why have we been gone and why has the site been quiet, yeah, I moved, and that was interesting to say the least. And I'm still kind of unpacking. I'm almost all done though. And just now got the computer room set all back up and everything running, and I'm just impressed. Everything seems to be working okay, so I guess that's a plus and a win. I figured once the podcast started back, I was going to find all this stuff broken and not working, but yeah, unfortunately, no gaming for me though. I wish. Hopefully this week I'll get back into some gaming and I am behind in board game reviews. I've got about 6 games that were sent to me during the process of my move, and I got 2 more coming. So look for lots and lots of reviews soon.
Well, as soon as you get back into gaming, we are taking Pine Leaf to the Temple of Elemental Evil to defeat Zuggtmoy.
That's right. We planned this before the show because people that have listened to the show for a long time know Pine Leaf's woes with Zuggtmoy. He is actually going to defeat her. It will happen.
Yep.
We shall see.
We are going to plan that soon. So, Pine Leaf, hopefully you played some games?
Yes. So some of this are things that happened more than a week ago to cover during the hiatus. The first of these is the completion of my Minecraft season on Wellstopia Season 3, where I finished my Temple of Elemental Pine, which is my tribute to our place of Zuggtmoy's favorite area. And what I did is I mainly concentrated on the top 4 levels. So when I got to level 3, I sort of combined the most interesting parts of level 3 and 4 because I didn't feel like doing another bunch of small barracks all over the place. So therefore, the northern part of my 3rd level is the Zuggtmoy section of level 3, and then the southern part is the Greater Temple, which of course, this being the Temple of Elemental Pine, what I did is, in this Greater Temple, I had the centerpiece of the whole thing being a huge spruce tree, since we're talking Minecraft here, so of course it's a spruce instead of a pine. So this huge spruce tree that I have down there, and that of course is the ultimate thing that's being worshipped and all that stuff.
Of course it is. Why wouldn't it?
And if you want to have something that will make Zuggtmoy choke, I had turned Zuggtmoy's chamber into a rainbow room. So,
oh God.
Yeah, I know. That was my revenge on Zuggtmoy. And I also did do a little bit of a nod to the nodes that you get teleported from the 3rd level, where I have ladders going down to these small sections. So for the fire node, I had a section that was a tribute to the Nether. For the water node, I had this entire area flooded. The earth node I did as a maze, and the air node was just this big sphere, and since each of them had a gold block, and the idea there was to see if you could reach the gold block, so therefore you had this gold block that's way up in the air, so therefore the only way to get up there is to ender pearl your way up there. And I also had done a series, I think I might have started it before the hiatus, but I finished it during the hiatus, and that was, I did a test world for update 1.13, where I was going on trying out various things. It was giving me an attempt to run with trying to find tridents. That was the main thing I was trying to do, is to get tridents so I could try out the new weapon, all this stuff, because Pine Leaf I couldn't get a real spear, so therefore tridents I was thinking would be a nice substitute for that. And I had a lot of trouble getting tridents. I think I got 1 trident during the entire run, and it was all ready to be busted and all that stuff. So that didn't make too much progress on that matter.
So what you're saying is tridents are the new quivers.
Yes, they are the new quivers. And
Tridents? Those are better than spears. They're like 3 spears in 1.
Yeah. Well, actually, I liken that getting a trident when you're asking for a spear is like getting a shotgun when you ask for a rifle. In that I would think that a trident, most likely, you would take the damage you would have done with a spear and divide it by 3 for each of the 3 points. So if you've got a soft target, it might be better, especially if you got something like a fast-moving fish, which is what tridents were used for. But if you're trying to get through armor, I can't imagine a trident getting very deeply past armor.
You know, we have known this for a long time, but that
Yeah.
just proves it. Your mind is a crazy, crazy place, Plainly. Only you would come up with the analogy of a trident to a shotgun. Only you.
Pineleaf's mind is a forest of mystery.
Yes, a forest of mystery is right on there. So I decided to finish up because my background for this thing is that I got stuck in the past because my time machine disappeared on me. So therefore, in it, I made this time machine in order to get back. So I finished it up by trying to run my time machine, and of course, well, let's just say my time machine didn't work very well, and that ended the series there. Then I am currently building a tree house in. Well, I originally attempted to do it in the Minecore Hardcore Challenge, but let's just say that the creepers did not want me around in the jungle. So I decided to retry it outside of hardcore as an unofficial run to see if I could build a reasonable tree house for the remaining 7 episodes that I had originally scheduled for the hardcore challenge. And I started a new series where I am attempting to build a railroad under a special set of rules. The idea here is on this railroad is that I have to start at 0, 0, and it'll go north, south, east, west exactly. And I can't veer around or anything like this. And I have to build intermediate stops at 256, at 512, at 768, and then the final stop will be at 1024. Going in each of the directions, and I've got to build this stuff no matter what is in the area. So if I have to be over in the middle of the ocean, guess what? I'm going to have a very interesting build here trying to get this train station.
Oh, wow.
So therefore, I've started on that. Right now I noticed I was going out to the first areas in there, and right around the first area there is this village, and this village happens to be a desert village that's situated right on top of a cave and a ravine. And deserts and being on top of a ravine, you can imagine what very quickly happened. So the sand starts collapsing all around there. So before I build the rail line, I am going to try to move that village so that it will have more solid ground under it, so it could have people living near the first stop who are going to be some of the commuters that are going to be using the line. And I am doing that one on YouTube. And I've also started one where I'm going to try to do various builds with a nod towards the elements of the periodic table.
How do you come up with this stuff?
I don't know. Insanity, probably.
Does that mean you're going to actually build a periodic table, or?
Well, that is going to be one of the builds. But of course, we'll be building a periodic table. That will eventually be done. But right now, I'm just starting on a couple of the island builds on it. And the first one was almost built by the game itself, and that was took one of the existing islands and just put a watchtower there because I felt that what was naturally generated there already fit one of the elements. And then another one, I took an iceberg and built and sculpted it into a tower. So therefore, I'm starting to do that. But eventually, I'm going to work my way up north, and when I get to a really big island, I am going to build a periodic table there.
Sweet.
And yes, and a periodic table with, of course, all 118 of those elements.
Are you going to do like the more newfangled discoveries like the Californium and that kind of stuff? Or are you going to stick with the old school elements?
Oh, it's going to go all the way up to 118, which is the one that was only officially named about 6 months ago.
Whoa.
Yeah, let's see. I always forget what the name of the last one, because the next to the last one is Tennesseeing, but I forgot what the last one is.
Yeah, I'm once you start getting into the metals and stuff, I just kind of
Yeah.
flake out. I'm like, oh yeah, whatever. All those other elements.
Yeah, all those other elements.
Anything after a trio, I'm like, whatever.
Yes. Then on tabletop, I finished up my marathon solo campaign that I was participating in, where I had the unfortunate trouble of having Malistar as my character, because what happened is they had the original characters and each of the players were to take one, and since I entered last, I got Malistar. And Malistar, I have decided that Malice Star means bad star
Yes.
because that character was a disaster. Because, or at least I had no idea how to play that. Are you familiar with Aeon's End?
No, I'm not.
Okay, yeah, it's a deck building game where you have this big boss that you're fighting and trying to get through your breach portals and your breach maze, trying to keep it out and all that stuff. And I don't know, I think I probably must have had the character that was harder to solo with. Either that or I'm a really bad player, and I certainly can't rule that one out. But in any case, I did very poorly all the way through. I did win a couple of games, but they were like by the skin of my teeth. I was always getting knocked out and all that stuff. And the way the campaign was working, once you fall behind, you stay behind. So I really was didn't do all too well on that matter. And I have decided that I'm never going to play Malice Star again. No matter how many times I play Aeon Zen, I think I'm going to avoid that character after that because I felt
So-
Dead to you.
So,
Yeah,
Pine
that's
Leaf,
me.
we have learned something about you.
what?
Ninepon says some gamers read the DDO and the Lotro patch notes. Pine Leaf reads the chemistry patch notes.
Then in Castle Ravenloft, I ran the Destroy the Dracolich quest, and this has got to be the most treacherous game of Castle Ravenloft I think I ever played. Now, an opening like this has always been par for the course whenever I played Wrath of Ashardlin, but in Castle Ravenloft, usually it builds up on me, and I don't get smacked in the head in the first couple of turns. But on this one, I started out by my first monster was a wraith, and my encounter were the bat swarms. And if you don't recall what the bat swarms is, that's the one where if you attack a monster that's not in your tile, then you rolled at disadvantage. So of course you need to be in the same tile if you're going to attack the wraith, then if you're going to have any hope of hitting it. But of course, if you kill the wraith in your tile, you take damage.
Ruh-roh.
That's turn one. And of course, that was sort of moot because even though I was in the same tile, I kept on missing it. For the next two turns, I kept on missing the wraith. And on turn two, I missed the wraith and I draw the gargoyle and an encounter called Hands of Death. And all those together just killed me. So therefore, turn two, and I already had my first death.
Oh, jeez.
You can see how this is going. Then on turn three, after reviving, I missed the wraith again, and because I was slowed by the gargoyle the previous turn, I could not reach an edge. So of course there was an encounter, and I thought though I perfectly moved myself in such a way that the monsters could not reach me. In those two, I was able to do that perfectly, and I draw the encounter that moved all monsters one tile closer. So they came up to me. Yeah, then on turn four, I attacked the wraith again for some insane reason, and of course the raid screamed, and I got knocked out because the raid screamed.
Oh, good old adventure system board games.
Yeah. So that's just 4 turns, and I already used up both of my healing surges. And of course, on turn 5, I missed again. So this is like happening all the way through here. And eventually, I got away from the gargoyle. And it's fortunate when you're away from the gargoyle, you don't have to worry about the gargoyle again. Now, in the end, actually, things started settling down after that. Now, I did get knocked out again, and because I'm playing this solo, I essentially say that I'll let the game go on longer, even though you being in a position to use a third surge, of course, is technically a loss. But I just wanted to see how far does this go. It eventually went 26 turns
Oh my god.
before I killed that dragon. Yeah.
26?
26 turns. Yeah. And what's strange is that just as I was starting to get to the point where I was going to attack the Dracolich and we're all both back together, that is the same turn where my encounter was a fire trap.
Oh, jeez.
And the only exit from where I was through the Dracula. So therefore, the only way I could get away from the fire truck was to either disarm the trap. Now, I did have the thieves' tools. That was the original draw I had. Or have the Dracula bite me and then toss me over, because whenever they bite you, they throw you over into another hex anyway. So that's what I was
That's
ready.
what they call being stuck between a rock and a Draculich.
Right. Of course, yeah. So things went really. Now, of course, the Draculich at this point decided to keep on missing me for a while, just to keep me next to the trap. So that was really. So eventually, I get killed by the trap, and so the Draculich doesn't hit me until after I get killed by the trap. This is how bad
Jeez.
it was. Oh, that was. Eventually, though, I did flame strike it, though I had to revive 4 times, which of course is twice as the number of revivals as you're officially allowed in the game. So that was really the hardest hit that I would be. Usually, I think when I'm playing Castle Ravenloft, I would have gotten the 3rd death while fighting the Draculich, is probably what I would more have expected to this. But this one, yeah, the game came and squashed me immediately. Whew. Bonnie, what were you up to?
Oh, well, I wasn't fighting any Draculiches, that's for sure. Well, I was supposed to flag Shroud on Galanda and Valanis, because those are the 2 servers where I don't have anybody flagged. But I wound up in the mists of Ravenloft, and I was in Barovia instead. You know, as you do.
But not against Draculiches.
Not against Draculiches, no. But so I ended up doing all of the Ravenloft Barovian kind of quests instead, because it's fun. I like it. I'm not Lessa, so I really enjoy going to Barovia and doing all of those quests.
Lessa doesn't like it?
Up here, I don't think she likes it. I mean, that's the impression I get. But but no, I've been there, and I've been hanging out in the castle and getting, you know, those symbols of Ravenkind. You know, the stuff you do when you go to Barovia. You hang out in a death house.
Hang out in Death House.
You know, kill some hags. Yeah, just the usual. Just the usual. And I also did that the Disciples of Rage chain once. I didn't do toxic treatment, because every time I do toxic treatment, I don't prepare. I never plan ahead. I always do it on a whim, and then I always regret that I did it on a whim, because the end fight kind of needs you to be prepared, and it's not really the most fun to solo if you're unprepared, because there are these little eyeballs that murder you. Basically, they like shoot the little force BBUs, but Night Shield doesn't, or any kind of shield doesn't protect you from them like it would magic missiles. So you can get a lot of damage from the eyeballs, and there are ways to deal with them if you have crowd control, or if you have like glitter dust or things like that. But I never do, so I skipped that one. But that's basically what I did DDO for the past week. But maybe past 2 weeks, that's really what I've been doing, instead of what I was supposed to do, which is flag for Shroud. And I have idle champions running in the background, D&D clicker game all the time, because you can do that, and because it's basically idle. It's in the name. You can play it without playing it. It's
That
very zen.
reminds me, I need to load that up. I should have a butt ton of coins that I've collected over the past who knows how long that I haven't been playing.
They've added in this wonderful feature, because there were these champions that I missed. They'll have events, and you can get new characters and stuff. And I missed some of the ones that I really wanted. And they added in a new feature called Time Gates, where you have a chance to go back and get one of the champions that you've missed. So I love it. I just love it.
Oh, sweet.
I've apparently missed something, or I completely forgot what Idle Champions is.
I've talked about it on previous shows.
So I've forgotten about it.
Yeah, it's a Dungeons and Dragons game. It's set in really kind of parallels the current campaigns they have going on, the stories and stuff. So there's a Sword Coast area. There's a Tomb of Annihilation area. They're getting ready to do a Waterdeep series of quests. And it's a clicker game, so it's something where you have your different hero characters, and they make a formation, and they're killing stuff, but it's kind of scrolls by, and you don't have to interact with it very much. That's why they call it idle champions.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
like so it goes through levels, and every 5 levels there's a boss. But and that might be the only time I have ever find myself having to click anything. But you can just leave it running in the background, and it just accumulates all your gold and your bells and whistles and whatnot.
The
And
game
it's cute.
plays
I don't know.
itself, finally.
The
It
game
plays
plays
itself.
You can do stuff with it when you feel like it. It's one of those things you can play with it for like a couple minutes here and there, but you don't have to like intensely be doing it all the time.
Okay.
And they're like little storylines, the different quests and stuff. It's like a low commitment kind of game, but it's got Dungeons and Dragons elements in it, and they're owlbears. They're no Eritricoses yet that I've seen. I don't think.
Oh well.
There are some devil things though, but like the creatures look a little bit different than like DDO's rendition of things. So like you see a Dretch, and the Dretches are on all fours and idle champions as opposed to standing upright like they are in DDO. So there are little things like that you can notice and like comment on. Oh my, look at how they did Dretches. If you want to, I guess.
If you want to.
But I'd miss getting Strix from Dice Camera Action. So when they introduced the time gates, I was super happy because then I was able to go back and get Strix and have her in my party. So that was fun. But yeah, that's why I like it, because I injured my arm towards the beginning of the year, and I had a hard time playing most games. Like when I wore a brace, it was like in the way of doing a lot of games that required you use coordination and where you needed to be inputting all the time. So Idle Champions was like the perfect game for me because I didn't have to actually do much of anything.
That's a good point.
But that was my week.
All right, thank you. We currently have 19 supporters on Patreon. If you'd like to help support DDO players, simply go to the donations page where you can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. There you'll find rewards, including a mention on the podcast your choice, or even be guests with us for an episode of DDO Players News. And if you have any new exciting patron rewards that you could think of, you could send them to drac@ddoplayers.com. We did not receive any comments this week, probably because we've been a little idle for the last month.
Right, site's not been doing much here lately, but
Hey, they could make a clicker game out of you.
we could.
And we have no emails, but if you'd like to send us one, you can send it to podcast@ddoplayers.com. You can also follow us on Twitter, the Players Alliance @PlayersAllied, DDO Players @DDO Players, Draculetta @Dracula_72, and Piney Pet Piney Needles. And on Twitch, you can follow .tv/Draculetta_72. And you can follow our amazing guest, Bonnie View, @Bonnie View. The Players Alliance has 4 shows every Monday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. We have DDO Players News. Yes, we are back. And every Saturday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have Loto Players News. Every other Thursday at 9:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have XP Quest. And on the first Tuesday of each month at 9:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have Chromatic Bits. And that is it for tonight. And this is Piney Needles reminding you that we are now sponsored by Easy Roller Dice. Yes, thank you for our wonderful sponsor, Easy Roller Dice Company. Use our coupon code DDO Players to check out and save 15%. And with that 15%, you'll be able to quest responsibly.